Now for a quick of our Torah. As we know, we're Parshot, it was a double Parsha, and Bechukotai is very interesting. Starts off saying that if you listen to what God wants you to do, there'll be rains in its time, you'll have abundance, everybody will be secure, it'll be a good society. So it sounds at first like God is saying, if you do this, I'm going to reward you, so like you should do it to get the reward. Actually, it's something much deeper. If we are behaving as a just society, remember we've just had the whole issue of the Jubilee year, etc. If we behave as a just society, so that when the good times come, and say you're in a business, you're making money, you're hiring a lot of people to work in your business. So in other words, you're spreading the wealth. You're not spreading it, like in a communist concept, but you're spreading it in a capitalistic concept that you need workers, you're able to hire, and you're able to pay them a good salary. That this will bring abundance to the land because more people have money then, and then the economy will feed on itself, so to speak. Something that we don't think about. In a free economy, that's how it works. You should know that after the American Civil War, a very interesting thing happened in the South. Among the freedmen, the former slaves, were hired by Southerners because over whites, over the free whites who were never slaves. So why did they hire the freedmen? Why did they prefer them? And it was not because they weren't racist. These people, a lot of them were racist, but the former slaves knew how to work. They knew how to get to a job on time, and they weren't asking for a lot of money when walking in the door. In other words, they didn't believe they were deserving of the job, which unfortunately a lot of the whites didn't have that concept. And then once they got in the door, what happened is, this is a good worker. I want to keep him because there are other people I'm in competition with, and this guy can go to them. So I'm going to raise his salary. So in other words, it benefited both me and my employee. That if he's a good worker, I want him to be in my employ. And now what does he do with his money? Is he's able to support his family, and it builds on from there. Because he goes to the storekeeper, he says, great, I get money. He's selling products. The guy running the store is not doing it because he likes you. He'll be happy when you come in to do business with him, but not because he likes you. He likes your money. He's in it for money to support his family. And this is what the Torah is coming to say. When you have a society which everybody is working together, that basically those with money are willing to invest in society, and those who are looking for jobs will get a job that'll be good, well paid, etc. It's beneficial for everybody. And therefore you'll have the blessings of having a secure economy. You should know that one of the interesting things about Israel during its recent war, because the economy backing up the country was strong, they were able to conduct the war, and there was not a major problem in the economy, which usually wars cause trouble. But what helps is when you have a strong economy, then you can afford to have these wars. Even though it's not a war of choice, it's a war of necessity. It's still, you need the strong economy to back up. This is something also, as we mentioned in World War II, one of the driving forces of the Americans was there was a strong economy backing up the military. So you need a strong economy, you need to be united, And once your society is united, it prevents a lot of other problems. So that's what the Torah is coming to say. If you behave according to the mitzvot, you will be blessed. Something to think about. Kaddish